Venom's massive success at the box office made a sequel virtually guaranteed. Confirmed details are all but non-existent at this point, but rumors and spoilers have already started leaking. So here's a look at what we can reasonably expect from Venom 2. If you were waiting for Woody Harrelson to show up in Venom, then you had to wait until the mid-credits for a brief scene. Presumably returning to his career as an investigative journalist, Eddie Brock is summoned to San Quentin, where Harrelson waits in a cage. Everything about the scene feels like the foundation for a sequel, and in May 2018, Harrelson confirmed he'd be showing up in Venom 2. If you're a Marvel Comics fan, then the hints about Woody Harrelson's role in Venom's mid-credits scene weren't real subtle. In the comics, Venom's symbiote species reproduces asexually, and Venom's own symbiote spawn had the horrible idea of bonding to serial killer Cletus Cassidy. The result was the villain Carnage. He's tougher than Venom and has a body count to rival the Joker's. Even though no one in the mid-credits scene says his name, with Harrelson's curly red wig, the fact that he's a convicted serial killer, his penchant for writing in blood, and of course, his closing line.
When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage.
The signs point pretty hard to Venom's bad guy having a bit more red coloring in the second movie. Considering the nature of the character, it's surprising Venom didn't earn an R rating. According to the producer, Avi Arad, Venom 2 won't be R either. That's an even bigger surprise with the likelihood of Carnage's involvement in the sequel. But Arad doesn't think you need an R rating to do Carnage justice. He told Collider, "It's not about what he does because we never have to show the knife going from here to there." The Venom producer described Cletus Cassidy as a soul filled with torment and that he wants audiences to be able to feel for him. Sympathetic villains can certainly sell. The success Tom Hiddleston found as the MCU's Loki is proof of that. And Venom supports what Arad says about not having to show all the violence on screen. For example, we know Venom eats villains in the film, though we never actually see him do it. We'll see if the filmmakers can do likewise with Carnage, but if the comics are any indication, they're gonna need to kill a lot of people off screen. A lot. To comic book purists, divorcing Venom's movie origin from Spider-Man may have been more painful than a symbiote being ripped from its host, but Venom producer Ruben Fleischer seems fairly sure the current live-action versions of both characters will collide on screen eventually. Speaking to Screen Rant, Fleischer said, "I'd love to see Venom face off against Spider-Man at some point. It feels like that's inevitable." Fleischer went on to say that he knew both Tom Hardy and Tom Holland were excited about the prospect, and that he didn't know whether or not that would mean Venom would or could become part of the MCU. So, is it possible we could see this inevitable clash in Venom 2? It's an enticing possibility, especially if Carnage proves to be the sequel's villain. In the comics, Spider-Man, Venom, and Carnage have always worked as an interesting trio of combatants, particularly with Venom sometimes flip-flopping between allies. It's enough to make you want to imagine that the sequel to Venom might be titled Venom Maximum Carnage. Considering Venom's record-breaking success, you'd think the director could name his own price to helm the sequel. But Variety pointed out that it looks like Venom director Ruben Fleischer won't be able to direct Venom 2 whether he wants to or not. Fleischer directed 2009's post-apocalyptic comedy Zombieland, and in July 2018, Sony confirmed the production of Zombieland 2 with pretty much all of the original stars returning, as well as Fleischer, who's set to direct the sequel. If Fleischer is going to be busy directing Zombieland 2, then it could be difficult if not impossible for him to also direct Venom 2. The Variety article didn't offer any hints about who, if anyone, Sony might be considering to replace Fleischer. It could be that, since both franchises are under Sony's tent, the studio is trying to find a way to facilitate Fleischer helming both projects before fishing for a successor. Considering Harrelson will probably be playing Carnage in Venom 2 as well as appearing in Zombieland 2, maybe he and Fleischer could just carpool or something? Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite Marvel movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.